Most African kingdoms fell to European colonizers in less than a decade. Some surrendered after a single battle, but one tribe held the line for 3 centuries. They weren't the richest, they didn't have modern weapons, but they had something the invaders didn't expect: unity, strategy, and a burning will to stay free. This is the untold story of the Dahomey Amazons and the Kingdom of Dahomey. The African tribe that stood tall when the world tried to bring them to their knees. Founded in the early 1600s, Dahomey rose from a cluster of villages into one of the most feared military powers in West Africa. At its core was something unique: an elite, all-female army known as the Agoji, later called the Dahomey Amazons by the French. These women were trained from childhood, taught to kill, taught to survive, taught never to retreat. Foreigners called them brutal. Locals called them divine. They were warriors, not wives. Their only marriage was to the king. Their only loyalty was to the kingdom. By the late 1800s, Europe launched its full-scale scramble for Africa. The French targeted Dahomey. They wanted to control the coast, the trade routes, the people. But the king of Dahomey said no. And when they sent envoys to negotiate, the response was brutal. Heads were returned. Skulls lined the palace walls. The French called it barbaric, but in Dahomey it was a message: we do not fear you. Unlike European-style wars, Dahomey used guerrilla tactics. They knew the terrain. They moved at night. They struck when least expected. The Agoji could move silently through dense forests, strike a camp, then vanish like spirits. It wasn't just brute force. It was psychological warfare. French soldiers spoke of women who fought like lions, unflinching, unstoppable. Even when hit by bullets, they charged forward, chanting war songs. But the French weren't backing down. They brought in artillery. They burned villages. They used spies and turned rival tribes against Dahomey. In 1892, they launched a full invasion. Wave after wave, day after day. The Agoji fought to the end. Some fought with machetes when guns ran out. Others took their own lives rather than be captured. Eventually, the capital city, Dahomey, fell. But even in defeat, the legend didn't die. 300 years of resistance. No other tribe in West Africa held out that long. Today, the legacy lives on. In 2022, Hollywood tried to tell part of the story in The Woman King, but the real history runs deeper than fiction. The bloodline of the Agoji still walks the earth. Their descendants tell the stories. Their names are sung in ceremonies, and their message echoes across generations. Freedom must be defended, even if the whole world stands against you. What would you die for? What would you fight for? The Kingdom of Dahomey knew the answer. They fought for identity, for pride, for home. Not all stories end in victory, but some losses are greater than any win, because they inspire. Subscribe to Legacy and Legends for more stories you were never taught in school. And tell us, which forgotten people should we uncover next?